Hi there. If you want to learn how to create some underwater explosion sound effects from scratch, then you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to record, how to record it, and then I'm going to show you how to bring it into your DAW, how to start designing it, editing it, and everything so that you have a complete finalized underwater explosion sound effect. So with that said, let's get into it. If you are a beginner sound designer and you're looking to start building your online portfolio and creating an online presence, I have created a free online training for you. It's called just my sound design content training, where I basically walk you through tools you can use and just how to get started to build your portfolio online and how you can do that little by little as you're also working and going, if you're going to school or doing other things. So with that, if you're interested in checking it out, I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below, the sound design content training. All right, now that we have all of our recordings completed, the first thing I like to do is to open up granular synthesis to start designing some sounds here. So to start, I like to use Pad Shop Pro. I just find it creates some really nice textures and sounds really easily. So I'm going to do that right here. And I'm going to import the files that we just recorded into here. All right, so here's our water pouring file. I'm just going to make a couple of changes. Going to move the start position somewhere in the middle here. I'm going to change the numbers to 3. So that means we're going to have about 3 grains every time I hit a note. And duration can be anywhere from between I like 700 to 700 milliseconds to 1 second. That's good to me. So let's just have a listen to what we get here. So everything's kind of together. So I'm just going to change a little bit here, the position offset. So that sounds a lot better to me. All right, now with that recording, I can just grab it up here. I'm going to bring it back down. There we go. We have it right here. I'm just going to normalize it just so it's not too quiet here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import it into Faceplant and start designing it from there. All right, so here's Faceplant. I loaded the granular generator here, and now I'm just going to hit Control-Alt and drag our file into here, and now we're ready to go. So a few things here. Grain envelope, I'm going to change up a little bit here. I'm going to make it quite long here, about 1.7, let's say. It can be even longer, though. Let's do that. Here, the release, I like to make the release really long, about, let's say, 2 seconds. So now if we hit on a key here, right, you get this nice water texture. Now, the issue with our sound right now is that it's a little bit quiet, so I'm going to start making it a little bit louder here. I'm just going to add a couple effects on our bus here. All right, so on our bus here, you can see here I added a few effects. One is OTT here, and then uber loud here, just to make the sound all a little bit louder. So let's have a listen. So it sounds good here. I have way too many grains, so I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Let's say around here. And like that, we're getting pretty close to a nice underwater explosion sound here, or at least impact sound. So let's add a few more effects here that's going to help bring our sound to life and just make it a little bit punchier too. I'm going to add a transient shaper here and add just a little bit of attack. I'm going to bring this speed all the way down so that the attack is kind of longer, it's not overly snappy. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of distortion, saturate. I'm going to bring the mix down to about 50. Now, I still find that the envelope is not quite right. Like, I want to have the attack there, but I find the tail is just as loud as the attack, which is not what I want. So I'm just going to add an envelope here just so I can get the right proportion of the transient to the tail. All right, so here you go. So I added this kind of shape envelope here just so that we have the transient here. It's going to slowly fade down to about the level I want, and then a long fade out, which is going to be about the same as the release that we have up here. And now I can put this onto our gain here, and I'm going to bring this all the way down. I can also control how loud I want the tail to be here. All right, I'm also going to add a limiter here. All right, so this is already a lot better. So now I'm just going to add one final plugin here, and this is going to be disperser. This just is really nice to get that low end going. right? And then maybe the last thing I'm going to add here is going to be recenter, just to keep our sound not so white, because right now it's quite stereo, and we just don't want that for this explosion sound. Perfect. So now I can grab some of these, and these are already sounding nice, and there you go. So now what I can do with this patch, with this recording, is I can kind of go anywhere across it here, and I'm going to get different recordings here. I can even go on either the right side or the left side of the starting position here. And there you go. I can come up with a whole bunch of different variations on this sound. I can even take other recordings that I made and put those in here if I wanted to or needed to. Right. So with that, we have a pretty good sound already. Right. I could probably use that just as is if I wanted to. But if you want to make our sound a little bit more interesting, a little bit better, what you can do is kind of layer them together. So here I have an explosion sound that I already designed up here, and it sounds like this. And the way that I created it is by adding a few more layers. So exactly the same way, here I have my underwater like impact sound. This one was really, really long. So the one down here that we had created, I only made a tail for about, 2 seconds. But if you make the tail even longer, like 3, 4, 5 seconds, then you can have these super long tails, super long impacts that you can use to kind of elongate the sound here. That's what I did here. Right, so that's what I did with this one, and then of course it's just a matter of adding some more detail here. So here I kind of brought down the sustain a little bit, and a big thing that I'm using a lot too is going to be a low pass filter. Right, this is going to be used to help a lot with that kind of underwater feel. So if I take these off, right, that's the impact sound with it on. Same thing with this one here. And then what you could also do that I did here is I added some other kind of blast sounds, explosion sounds that I've designed. You don't need to have this, so I'm not going to go into details about it in this video, but if you want to see it, I'll make sure to put it in the cards above. But yeah, if you want to add other like explosion impacts, kicks, design kicks, stuff like that in here, it can totally work, and that's what this is doing here. Right? Again, I'm just doing a low pass filter. So without it, and then with it. And then if we put it all together, right? And like I said, if you're just using your water impact sound just as is, that's what I did here for the little redesign that I did here. A lot of them are just underwater impacts. And if you look here, I didn't do anything except for adding another filter just to kind of tweak it a little bit to how I want it to feel and fit in the sound in the game. But that's it. Like, apart from that, like if I take it off, that's just the water impact exactly as I designed it inside of Faceplant. There's nothing else happening here. Right, so you can use that as is, and that's what I did for all of these little redesigns here. All right, so I hope you found that useful and valuable. If you like this one and you made it all the way through to the end, I think there's another video you're gonna like. It's a video I made about water sound design, where I basically designed a whole bunch of different water sounds, from whooshes. I think I did also bubbles and water movements and stuff like that. So if you're interested, I'm actually put in the cards and in the description below. If you have any comments, as usual, let me know down below. I always do my best to answer them. And just a reminder of the sound design content training if you're interested in watching that. So I think that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching all the way through to the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.